Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong. Welcome to the back office. Today I'm going to be playing with blood again. If you remember, a while back I played with this, which is a blood glucose tester, and not a very good one. Or perhaps it's a good one, but the strips are out of date. Either way, it said I was very high in blood glucose and I'd be definitely a diabetic. So I was a little bit concerned about that and thought, yeah, it's always good to get a second opinion. So I've gone for this Easylife blood glucose, cholesterol and hemoglobin testing machine. So that's going to do basically your blood sugars for your diabetes type stuff, your cholesterol for your general cholesterol-y type stuff, and your hemoglobin, which is interesting because it's for like your iron, to see if you're anemic. So I just thought if you're doing exercise, that could be a useful option. You have a third option. The other one I think was uric acid, and I had no idea what uric acid tested. Now it did come with this piece of paper that tells you about how to use it, but they're not stuff that's pretty much you should already know, but you could just read that if you want. But here, this is something that I never knew. It said, important, when lancing for blood sample, do not massage or squeeze the finger. Allow the blood drops to form naturally. Now, I don't think this is feasible, to be honest with you. We'll have a go today, but you know what? I'm normally squeezing that blood out. So I think what we ought to do though is make it a bit more clinical here with some clinical style blue paper. There we go. Although of course you hope that your nurse isn't touching it all up with her raw fingers. I'm going to open up the box and see what's inside first. It's got a quality seal. That's always reassuring for something that's going to be interfering with your blood. And I'm going to be careful with my Stanley knife because that might also be interfering with my blood. Out it comes. Nice pack. Proper instruction manual. Now really, I ought to be reading this properly, but I'm probably not going to, given that fact that it's tiny and it's huge. You can see in the camera it's a lot of information there. But I'm going to pretend I'm like a normal Joe Bloggs who's just going to go and test himself. So it does have a Oh my Gideons. Look, so it's got another one of these finger poppers. So I'll probably just continue to use this one and just get some use out of that one. Batteries. Some magic chip. Look at that. It's a magic chip. I think that's like a tester. Loads of those finger pricker things. Instructions for all of the test strips. 3 test strips. And the machine itself, which is not too dissimilar, of course, to that one. How much blood should be applied to get an accurate cholesterol result? Squeeze out enough blood at one time before applying blood sample to test strip. The round-shaped blood formed on the finger should be at least 15 UL or half a centimetre diameter. Hold the finger to the test strip until the meter beeps. That's like a really massive one. You're going to be really pushing that one out. So what I think I'll do, I'll stop the camera right there, go through this, set it all up, put the batteries in, make sure it's running, and then we'll open the vials and have a test with something. I'm back. I've read the instructions and laid out now everything that I'm going to need. This is the hemoglobin test, blood glucose test, and blood cholesterol test strips. There is an interesting feature in this meter because when you get it, it says if you sort of put new batteries in or drop it, or any time you think a result is suspect, it says take this and pop that in there, and it's like a checking thing. And if it says OK, then the meter is happy. So it's obviously measuring the resistance in here, which is like a calibrated resistance for it. That's kind of cute. I like that. So it operates in most other, same as sort of other meters. It does though have a sort of interesting feature in that these boxes have another chip inside. So whereas the sort of older machine I showed you earlier, where I actually had to put in a code that was a sort of a number on the vial somewhere, the new one, this one, it actually has a chip that will confirm what's in the vial. So they're all designed so that you don't sort of mess up your sort of test strips and get bad results. Now I think because I don't know how much bloodletting I'm going to be up for today, although I probably want to test them all, I'm going to go for the blood glucose test strips because I actually have been fasting now, and this would be a good test because I can then now cross compare this to the previous results and just see what I actually, see if I am going to expire from an undiagnosed diabetes condition, which I kind of doubt, but you never know. Right, so these bottles are really thick. Look how thick this is. It's really thick, and I obviously designed to keep the moisture out, so I'm going to shut that right away. It says keep it closed, don't let any moisture in. But here's the chip you have. So it's basically a code number that goes with the actual bottle. So the control code is 3234 on this one, which is kind of interesting, really. I mean, when these eventually expire, I guess we're going to pop this open. He says almost popping it open right now. See what's actually inside there. But I suspect it'll be a resistor, and it'll be wired up in different values here, basically. Or it could be a digital thing. Who knows? So apparently we pop that in the machine. I think that's the only way it can go. 3234. So the machine is now calibrated to that. So all that's left now really is to drop some blood on a strip. So that's a very firm lid. I sort of managed to remove it entirely then. So I'm going to take one strip out, pop it down there. So you get 10 test strips for blood glucose in this kit. You get 2 for cholesterol, it's very expensive, and then you get 5 for hemoglobin. So if you're going to do the cholesterol one, you want to really go for it. You don't want to mess around. It's expensive. So we're going to plop the blood glucose in. So this is, if you're a sufferer of diabetes, this is where you want to go. Just looking here, it's got a window, so you obviously got to put blood into it somehow. I'm trying to work out which end really you're expected to do. I think you're expected to put it on this side, so you can see the arrows going that way. We're going to offer some blood into that small area there, and hopefully it'll sort of get sucked into the machine via sort of a capillary action. And just to show you there, look, you can see very slight window. I can't put it off any longer. I'm just going to have to let some blood. So I'm going to give myself a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a level 5 stabbing. And I did bruise my finger last time, and it really friggin' hurt. So there's no winners in this game. It's going to bloody hurt. So I'm going to go for this softer, fleshier part here, which feels like it's going to friggin' hurt. It didn't really. To be fair, it didn't. Now, it did say, don't massage the thing, but I think look. If I don't massage it, how am I going to test anything? All right, I'll do one more test. I'm going to crank this up to the full whack, pop it out. I mean, I'm going to do another one next to it. 3, 2, 1. Deep breath. Yeah, look, guys. I just don't have enough blood in me, so I'm going to have to squeeze that out. I think it's going to be fine. Ready? Let's get it in there. Yep, that got drawn through right through to the other side of that strip. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, baby, yeah! Is that good? Now, I think this is a different scale, because the other scale was like an American one, which was slightly different. So I've got a chart actually here in front of me, which I shall obviously try not to get blood on. And this is telling me fasting blood glucose normal 70 to 100, early diabetes 101 to 125, and diabetic over 126. So 81 milligrams. I think I'm doing pretty bloody well. There we go. That exercise has paid off, and I'm not going to die today, at least not because of my sugary blood. So I'm going to put that here, blood glucose. I actually missed an O there, but I kind of made a loop of a D. And I'm going to just go and wash my hands, and then sort of psych myself up to sort of just go through the others. Just looking at what score we want to get for the cholesterol. That's the next test in their manual, so I'm just going to go it in order. This is the one that needs a whole, look at that, 0.5 centimetre drop of blood. And when you read the instructions, it says don't even use the first one, use the second one. So you saw how little my finger wanted to give up. So I'm really not looking forward to this, and I'm not sure how I'm going to get enough blood into that. I might have to work out a different way of pricking myself. So these are oh wow, there's only 2 in a vial. You can see that's the other one, but they are hugely thick. Look at that. It's packed. packed with all the technology. Look at that. So that is a complicated test. So I'm gonna make sure we sort of take a bit of time over this bad boy. You can see that the chamber as well is massive. That chamber that you're going to have to try to fill via the capillary action is looking for a lot of blood. So it's going to take some effort, and you can see that sort of circle is showing you how big a blob you want of the second go too. E01. Okay, great. That's what happens if you don't put the chip in. Good. Well done, meter. You saved me from my own ignorance. And look, getting blood all over the meter. That's really nice. Yeah, well done. That's just what somebody who's using that wants. So let's check the codes. Well, it came up with a code, but whatever. It did look like the right one. Right. Now, if you do use these things, can you tell me where is the best place to get some bloody blood? Clearly, fingertips are quite fat and thick and callousy. I'm really struggling now. I'm struggling, guys. Just dead in the centre. Shall I go for that? Or the tip? You know, I'm going to try this middle bit. Just dead right in the middle. Second drop of an unsqueezed or massaged blood. Oop. I was bracing myself, but I hadn't loaded it. Ready? Deep breath. Oh, that kind of hurt actually. I think I hit a nerve there, but it's not going to happen. I'm telling you. Look, it's just not going to happen. That's no good, is it? I'm going to crank that finger, crank that finger. Come on, come on, come on. Get some blood, get some blood. Yeah, I really... you see, look where I've got to be. No chance. I'm going to have to have a little route around. I'm going to go on the internet for a sec and just see if there's a better place that I should be aiming for to get this blood. One moment. Okay, it's taken some time to get some advice on this, so I've basically been whirling my hand around and flicking it, flexing it, this and that, and putting it in warm water. So come on, and they say actually also have a go at pricking it on the side of the finger. You know, let's prick the side of the finger. I don't know if I have to try a different finger now. That poor index finger is getting a pretty mullet, so I'm going to go for this one. Come on now, come on, hit me. Oh, that hurt. I say hurt, not hurt. Side of the finger. Yeah. You know what? I just don't. I'll be useless to a vampire, wouldn't I? They'd be like, nothing. There's nothing there for you. That's looking like a pretty good drop, but you know, I had to massage that out. That's kind of what they say not to do, but I don't know. I think we're gonna have to roll with it, guys. I think we're gonna have to roll with it. Yeah, baby. Oh, it's gonna take a long time to figure this bad boy out. It's thinking about it. Wow, that's a long sort of processing time for this test. So I'm going to have a quick look at the meter, at the sort of the gauge here, to see what we're aiming for. So we're aiming between 160 and 200 if we're going to be desirable. Beyond that, then we'll worry about it. So that's quite a while for it to wait. It's a shame in a way because, actually I just noticed it says cholesterol on the screen. That's cool. It says glue HB col, so cute. I was just sort of thinking really that these tests are all well and good as long as you sort of keep up to date with the strips, because the strips sort of says use within 2 months after opening, and I suspect the machines know when they're going to die. So if you're going to get one and do some tests, do all the tests sort of like right away that you want to do, and then maybe just follow them up on whatever is the sort of interval. So if it's 2 cholesterol test strips and they last, let's see what it says. Use within 2 months. to do those changes to your lifestyle and then take a second reading in the 2 months later and see if you're sort of better or worse. Make use of those results. Hemoglobin, again, I don't know, there's 5 there. Again, 2 months. It all says 2 months on these, so they're not going to last very long, really. But hemoglobin's an interesting one because I think that's what people have if they're sort of anemic or not. So that's going to be an interesting sort of one to read. And the cholesterol, I don't really know. It's one of those funny things where they sort of say that you want to be in a certain range, that sort of food you eat, doesn't really... I think does it contribute to cholesterol now or not? I just don't know. It's so funny because before they were saying sort of dietary cholesterol, like what you have in eggs and things, was bad for you, and that would make these go up. And then they sort of discovered actually it has nothing to do with it, and it doesn't seem to make them go up at all. So you can eat all the eggs you want, there's no problem. So it's just sort of like almost like a fad. It's like a medical fad. There's one sort of journal paper, and then all of a sudden it sort of switches the whole thinking of the whole sort of country or world for like sort of 3 years, and then they go, meh, actually maybe we're wrong, just ignore all that. A bit like diesel engines. They sort of made everybody sort of shift over to diesel because it was greener and better and all of this, and it's actually all bollocks. So... oh, we're nearly there. Right. What does that say? Low? 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 What does low mean? Low? Low? You need to burn the cholesterol test and... okay. Just yeah, that's pretty disappointing. It's not actually it's not telling me what low means, so I don't know. Maybe I just didn't have enough blood for that test. Which is kind of annoying. It's like an expensive test strip, so I might just have to think about what I've done. Oh, here it is. Actually, your blood cholesterol level is lower than 100 milligrams per deciliter. So that's good. Recheck your blood cholesterol if low is displayed again. Oh, hang on. Recheck it if low is displayed again. Call your doctor immediately. Immediately. So, no, basically it's saying you've screwed up the test. You've knackered the test. Fine. Okay, let's just move on. Rushing along. Says he, going to order some new sort of test strips now for this. You're going to say, why don't you just use this other test strip? Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. This is actually, my wife bought this, and she didn't buy it for me. She bought it for her. So I've kind of sneaked it and thought I'll just get in some tests on it. And you don't really use up all of... oh, look, there's loads of these ones. 5. They're quite interesting. Look, they're really red ones. So, I've got to give her a chance to have a go at that cholesterol one, haven't I? There's only 2 in the pack. Pop that in. Error 01. Great. I've got the chip again. This is good, really. It really stops you from screwing up. 8564. Pop that in. 8564. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. Right, so what does this one say? How much blood do you need for the hemoglobin test? So for the actual blood glucose test, you needed a tiny bit, right? For the cholesterol test, you needed 15 versus 0.8 for the glucose. So the hemoglobin doesn't really say, really. Just gives you where you want to be for your male or female. Let's just, I guess, just puncture it and roll with it. Gonna go for same finger, different part, I think. Oh dearie me. So yeah, I think next time I do a cholesterol test, I'm gonna have to try to find a better place to prick, really. I mean, look at that. I'm just not getting what I need. Oh, that would have been amazing, that one, wouldn't it? Look at that. That would have been amazing. Sheesh. Suck it. Whew. 4, 3, this one's a quick one. 2, 1. 10.6. So, the following are ranges for males. 13.5 to 16.5. Oh, 10.06 for the hemoglobin. That's not good. 10.6. GDL hemoglobin. Well, there you go. That's sort of a kind of a result that you don't want. That sort of means maybe you need a bit more iron in your diet. So I'm going to go suck on a handful of screws. So I hope that's been of some use to you in terms of seeing what you get in a kit for an Easylife GCHB, and how you do the tests, and how you failed to do a cholesterol test because you didn't get a big enough blob of blood on the test strip. But in terms of ease of use, yeah, it's all pretty simple. I do like the self-check capability, and I do like this chip thing. You really can't go wrong on the sort of chips, and it obviously knows exactly what it's testing for as well once you got that chip in there. So please comment, like, subscribe, and as ever, thank you for watching.